Oh, here we go. Seven, the film review. This is going to be fun. This is going to be different. Now, before I begin this review, let's just talk a little bit about this movie before we get into the movie. Let's just talk about what my perceptions might be. Here we go. So I watched this movie when I was younger. And when I was younger, I didn't fully understand everything about this film. I didn't really know a lot about art direction, acting, violence. I just knew it was very dark. It reminded me of like a Batman movie, but much more violent. And no Batman. Also, I remember, through the years, this movie has gained kind of an acceptance from audiences and critics too. I think people regard this as one of David Fincher's best movies. The writing, I think, has a lot to do with that. The story is very interesting, very different. The way it's shot as well is very slick, even though it's a very so let's just begin this review, okay? So I watched this movie a few weeks ago. Haven't seen it in a long time, so this is hopefully a fresh take on this film. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think it's as big or as smart or as cool as everyone thinks it is. But then again, this is just me. This is my opinion. That's all. I'll begin by saying what I do like about this film. What I did like about it. I thought the intro was very well done and it set up the tone in a very good way. The credits coming on screen, introducing who's in the movie, the gritty atmosphere shots, the text that looked like it was like rotting away textures. That was a very good setup to like, okay, this movie's going to be gruesome. And it was. And so we begin with Morgan Freeman's character, who I'm going to have to look on our friendly website, IMDb. I think is it Somerset is his name. I should really be more prepared for this. Let's take a look here. So there are two main characters. Yeah, Morgan Freeman plays Detective Somerset, and Brad Pitt plays Detective Mills. And they're two different type of people. Somerset's the old guy who's been in the law enforcement practice for a long time. He's getting tired of it. He's about to retire. And he complains a lot about the city and how it's just, there's no hope. Things are just going terribly. And that's why he's retiring. Now, his new partner, this new guy, Mills, who got assigned to work in this city because he wanted to, which is weird, is very optimistic. He's married. He wants to clean up the streets. He just has this optimistic, emotional kind of power to him. He really doesn't like bad guys. And I think he kind of represents the bright side to this film. Now, where it takes place is a city could be Chicago, could be New York, could be LA, could be anywhere. It doesn't really say. It looks like it's out of a graphic novel. It looks like possibly Gotham City at another time. Um, it's shot really well. It's shot like a traditional detective story with the camera angles and the edits. But there's murders that are happening and they have to figure out. So pretty much, yeah, the story is there's a series of murders that's happening, and the person who is doing these murders, he's like doing 7 deadly sins. So he's killing people who he thinks are committing the 7 deadly sins. I think the first one they find is sloth. And at that point, by the way, there's going to be spoilers in this review. Hope you've seen the movie. If you haven't, please stop listening to this and go watch the film, please. Or just don't watch it. Or if you really don't want to watch it and you really want to know what happens, keep listening. Anyways. All right. So they, what happens is they go to this place where someone has died, and it's this fat guy who is, he's like sitting at a kitchen table. His head's down on a plate of food. He's very large, obese man. The veins are popping out. He just looks terrible. He's dead. And there's like the word sloth written on the side of the wall inside the room. And that's their first clue. And I mean, it's a violent movie. Like they bring the body in and inspect it, and the doctor's looking at it, and things look pretty realistic. Like it's very violent, kind of. In some ways, it's unbelievable someone would do this, but as a movie, it has this weird. You're watching it and it's a movie, but it references like real life, so it's just like an imagination of, oh, what if this happened, and it could look like this. That's the kind of picture this movie is showing people. So what happens is Morgan Freeman's character, he doesn't really want to continue to investigate this. He's kind of tired of seeing this, but he realizes whoever's doing this crime is very smart. And Brad Pitt, he loves this stuff. Like he's like this. He doesn't love it. I mean, he wants to be on this case. He wants to continue to find out who does it. He thinks whoever is doing these things is just a loser who is just killing people for fun. So they find more murders and they find more clues that are the 7 deadly sins. There's what else is there? Sloth and greed, envy, wrath, pride, gluttony. So they go through these murders, and they're linked to people who fit those descriptions. Now,